or even better. Now, I don't know if it happens here, but this is a real Latin American thing. I was meeting with a tea producer in Costa Rica. Amazing teas. They're still not here because they have no idea where to place them. It's horrible because these are better teas than anything I've had here before. And the tea producer said, well, I'm thinking North Carolina. Why? He says, well, I've got a cousin. And I just went, oh. And this is kind of a family friend of my business partner. I said, okay, you know what? We're gonna do this for you. It turned out Chicago was spectacular for him. There's a lot of other states, like California had some really good opportunity for him, and so did Seattle, Washington area. However, his distribution channel is coming in through New Jersey. And so he's not going to truck all that across the United States. His FOB's landed costs were huge. So what did he have to do? He had to say, okay, well, where's the nearest hub? Well, Chicago sounds like a good hub to me. Massive opportunity, into the retail chains it goes. Again, it's that simple as creating the business decisions so that his first introduction into the United States wasn't a failure. If you're selling a product into Walmart, here's a good example. I'm not sure if you've ever seen, in fact, most likely ever haven't. There's this product out there, it's for pears. Now, pear, I'm not sure if you have the same problem as I do, because I buy pears, but they always look the same essentially, so I never know when to eat them. And so it's either I pick up a pear and bite into it, and it's as hard as an apple, and it's like, oh, great, another pear. Or I bite it and it's too soft, and it's dribbling over your hands, and it's like, oh, great, another pear. And you never know when it's actually just perfect eat. Well, this guy in Australia created the most amazing product. It's this plastic clamshell with a little sticker on top. And the sticker actually measures the amount of moisture within the pack. And then it changes color. It tells you when the pears are ready. Brilliant. This is incredible. 4 pears. However, 4 pears for $7. But the amount of money I've wasted on pears in the past probably warrants me. Right? You know, I'm an analyst, so it all comes down to the calculation. And so what happens is, he sat down with my old company, and I was called in, and he said, yeah, well, as a distributor, we want you to represent us. Okay, it looks really good, but it has to be highly targeted because there's very few people that are going to spend $7 on pears. He says, well, okay, well, I've already signed a deal with Walmart. I'm like, oh, bad. Because what did he do? Walmart said, okay, well, selling into the South Central United States. Ever been to the South Central U.S.? Okay, so when you got a big family and you're not exactly living the Vancouver lifestyle, you're looking for a big bag of apples like this big for $5. Because you just got to feed a lot of people, and that's just the way it is. I mean, and you can see that in the data. That's all in the data. So they placed it into 150 stores. And I told the guy, I said, no offense, but it's going to fail miserably. Get out of the contract now. Because your consumers aren't there. You can't just take a product and throw it into the market. So what happened was, and also, let me put a note here, if you fail with Walmart, you'll never work with Walmart again. Unless you start a new company and do something different. What happened was, he failed so miserably in Walmart with such a brilliant product, in my personal opinion, he got kicked out of North America. None of the supermarkets would take it because he failed. So now he's trying to peddle it in Europe. So the whole point here is that there's a lot of markets out there, but if you fail in them, people don't forget. So what's the end result? You get store lists. The store lists come in Excel, business lists. You get a summary PDF. So very simple and quick, pass it around. And you get it's called a KML file. It's the Google Earth file. So go ahead, send it to somebody else. Email it to somebody else and say, hey, this is my business. Because it's that easy.
At the beginning of the presentation, you showed doing an inquiry for $500, and you chose the factors you wanted, and you weighted them, and you kind of did all that. Is there an opportunity to tune? Is that your one shot for $500, or do you get to tune it and say maybe I kind of overweighted Asia, or I did this, or There's no, that's another $500.
Oh, yeah. If I was charging you 50 grand, it would be called consulting, and then we can work together on it and go forward. You know, I mean, it all comes down to the model.
Can you go into a little bit into your data sources? I mean, you mentioned
course.
the U.S. Census. Are there other ones?
Well, the U.S. Census, we actually don't purchase the U.S. Census because that was done in 2004. They've done one in 2010, I believe. It's going to probably be ready in 2012. It's all going to be old and updated. We purchased from a company called AGS, Applied Geographical Sciences in the United States. They're a massive data house owned by one of the data gurus in the United States. And the data, attitudes and behaviors, it's called MRI Experian data. Now, a lot of companies use this data. Kraft Foods, Procter & Gamble, everybody uses Experian data, but it's always kept within the underlayer of the company because only the analysts and the accounting type can figure this stuff out. What we've done is be able to take this information so you don't have to spend $100 grand on it. Take the information and view it visually so that whether or not your receptionist at the front desk or the receptionist kids or the CEO, it's a visual understanding of information. So our next step here is, how do I make an online connection? Now, here's the biggest market in the world, online. And who's the big player online? Google. Actually, I think Alibaba just surpassed Google, but anyway, Google's big. They have a $30 billion little economy with ads going right now. 97% of Google's volume is AdWords, it's revenue. So all those other products we see, they're just free for Google. Just throwing it at you to make sure that you go ahead and do your AdWords. So what we've come up with is using the same core technology. It's called targetyourclicks.com. Now, what I'm doing today is I'm just giving you a very brief intro to this because this is actually going to be launched in 2 weeks. TargetYourClicks.com is how do I increase my Google AdWords ROI? How many people here know what a Google AdWord is? How many people use Google AdWords? Okay, when you use Google AdWords, it's actually not as simple as many people think. Google AdWords is difficult. It's like one of those plants that you buy, and no matter what you do, it's always sick. And Google AdWords is the same way. This is a daily thing. It's non-stop. Meaning every day you got to go in and make sure you got keywords going. There's something called a quality score. Does everybody in here know what a quality score is? Sort of. Quality score defines Google AdWords, and it's hidden. YouTube quality score, I urge you, because quality score defines how well your campaign is doing, and that's actually going to define how much your bid price of your words is. It's critical and nobody knows. So what we're doing here is we're saying, okay, well, you have to target your AdWords. So it all comes down to the same thing, spatial analysis, X and Y, latitude, longitude. X and Y is actually just a point, a single point on the earth. Now, if you take these points in Google AdWords, now remember, we just went ahead and defined, remember those 4 regions for produce? Asian produce in New York, 4 regions. Aggregate those regions all together. Now, if I'm going to go online and search for bok choy, I don't know if I would, but any product or service, right? You're going to go online and search for it. You want to make sure that Google is only showing your ad to the people that actually have the potential to purchase it. Easy. However, what Google allows you to do is, well, you can place an XY point and put a radius around. I don't know what that means. Maybe if you own a flower shop, that might help you. But for all of us who don't own flower shops, you need something else. Next, what you can do is you can set your own XY points and create your own boundaries. So if I live in Kitsilano and I only want to sell in Kitsilano, great, I can set my little boundaries. But what about for all of those of us that want to go ahead and place these custom regions all across the United States?